first female property owner was in the 1600s. The idea that women...
You're going to sit here and tell me, hey, whoa. The first woman got to own something all the way in 1600. Let's ignore the other, 1,599 years. Come on, guys. Thinking about doing something fun, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's take a look at this apparently evisceration.
Back to Piers Morgan, I said. So Pearl Davis has racked up a legion of online followers and plenty of breathless newspaper coverage by sharing her incendiary views on modern feminism. The New York Post called her the female Andrew Tate. So she tapped into genuine female pushback to the excesses of wokery, or is she just an attention seeker? We'll find out in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the clip that sent her viral.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should.
Okay, let me just say from the outset, you look insane.
Vote. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for this opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion. 90% of women have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 women has an STD. Average body count is over 5, so that your average wife has slept with over 5 people. 95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. So,
cool. So, I guess the question becomes, what the fuck does any of that have to do with one's participation in a democracy? Like, what? Okay. And, like, this is the thing. She's not serious, right? Like, I've seen her, I watched that Ethan video, that debate she had with Ethan, and it doesn't really seem like she has opinions, does it? She's just kind of, she just kind of says whatever thing will get her a lot of attention and clicks, which, I mean, something to be said about the clickbait culture. But like, I guess I kind of fail to see why you'd bother hosting this person, especially on like Piers Morgan's a pretty, well paid and like up there in terms of like media kind of guy. It's kind of shocking that you'd bother having somebody so vapidly dumb and like devoid of ideas, but of opinions, I guess. But it's is what it is, I guess.
Oh, I understand the complaint.
Okay, well, Pearl joins me now alongside political journalist Ava Santini, who was nodding furiously along there to everything she heard. Right, Pearl, you've be called the female Andrew Tate. How do you plead?
Well, I take it...
Also, Andrew Tate never tells people to not participate in democracy. I don't even know what that means. Andrew Tate is about being incredibly gay with your homies. Like, how, is it like she says the same stuff, or she's like communicating the same thing? Because again, Andrew Tate doesn't say. I mean, I guess Andrew Tate says that women shouldn't vote, but again, I don't know. It's just I feel like her messaging is different. Her angle isn't the same as like Andrew Tate's is all about like, again, being gay with your friend, with your homies, but I don't know. We're weird.
Take it as a compliment. I'm a fan of Andrew Tate.
Of everything he said?
Why?
It depends what we're talking about, but overall, I think he's got a good message. I think he's good for young men.
God.
Okay, look, you're talking about women predominantly, which is why you've got this big following. And your view is that modern feminism is deeply flawed. I would argue a lot of your proposals, like taking the vote away from women, are deeply regressive. Mm-hmm. Why would you want to remove, just from yourself, the right to vote?
Well, what happened was I had the same view, right? Back when I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right.
Oh yeah, didn't she like get in trouble for making like a Jew song or whatever? Like, yeah, she's just here for attention. But okay.
To vote. And I couldn't figure out, like, why would women not? No, it's true. It's true. If you look it up.
At the time.
At the time.
Because they've been conditioned by men to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
I mean, that's what they say. But, you know, I started reading their writings, right? And what
That's what they say. Okay.
I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. You know, before you became one in marriage, 85% of people were married. And, you know,
also, do you think she's okay? Let's tease this out a bit. When she says I read their writings, do you think she read like a comprehensive collection of like you know, writings from women at that time, or did she find the specific women who were perfectly fine with the absence of women's suffrage because they probably had, you know, power or influence or wealth already? Most likely, if you're a woman, much like you know, much like the house Negro, if you're a woman of high status in a patriarchal, in a hyper patriarchal society, you probably have no interest in converting to a system, to a format where everybody is allowed the ability to participate, because in that scenario, you are no longer now preferenced. Like, you would want to keep it that way. The same way, like, you know, no house Negro ever thought to himself, boy, that freedom would sound good. No, they never thought that. Why would they? They get preferential treatment. They've been plucked from the system to be the special, the one. They get to be the exception. So, of course, they'd want to keep their status. At the end of the day, like, I you know, it's, what people say, you know, what individuals write isn't all that important when we're talking about a like incredibly large, like populous sociological event, which is the, you know, women's suffrage.
I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
What's that got to do with them having the vote?
Also, keep in mind, this is
it also goes
a
back to
white woman,
responsibility.
probably somebody who isn't like
Again,
poor,
men
wanting to
are
hold on
80
to
to
her
90%
status.
of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run.
Cool.
So I just think if we
and why and why is that? Could that be because women don't have, I don't know, maybe the option to be those things? It's really funny because they'll be like, oh, you know, who, like, I've heard this argument before where people will say, oh, who gave women the right to vote? I think Ben made this argument. Who gave women the right to vote? A bunch of men, huh? Well, too bad all men voted for women's suffrage. To which one would ask, quick question, who was restricting women from being able to voice their opinion in a democracy? Was that men? And only what? Less than 100 of them needed to vote to decide. It only took, like, you know, for hundreds of years, women didn't have the right to vote. And, you know, for hundreds of years, they could have solved that problem with, you know, the Senate passing a bill. And they chose not to for that entire time. And then suddenly men just decided, I guess we'll throw them a bone. You know, I'm sick and tired of my wife staying at home and only birthing my child and making me a sandwich. I think we should give them their rights. No, that's not what happened. Like, women fought for those rights through through activism. Like, and again, it's like, oh, well, men do all this stuff. Men run the infrastructure. Men are all in the military. Yeah, we do live under a patriarchy. This is incredibly true. I wonder, is there a reason why men do all of those things? Could there possibly be a reason why that is the status quo as it is?
We want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the U.S.,
we literally don't allow them to. Only since I think 2013 did we allow women on like the front lines. So you're arguing against yourself. See, what you don't understand is that there's the patriarchal system in the United States subjugates women as second-class citizens in minor ways now than they did before, but certainly in enough ways. And socially, we just don't allow women to progress into certain positions in not just the economy, but in our society. And then what? And then you turn around and go, oh, well, you know, if women really want to be like equal, then we should be 50% of the military. Do you not think that, like, if men would allow women to do so, if there weren't barriers for women to enter the military, that we wouldn't see that number? Come on. Also, bitch, why are you not in the military then? What the fuck are you doing with your long hair and fucking pearls? Get your ass on the fucking drop and give me fucking 80. I don't know. Fucking get your ass onto the battlefield then. Fuck shit.
They're fined $250,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, but specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have?
I'm just going to say patriarchy, which is again a structure intended to preference males specifically. And because of that, but unfortunately, the patriarchy also cuts against, like, the patriarchy is a double-edged sword. Because in one way, men get a lot of, you know, they get to be the center of society. They get to run everything, make all decisions, all the rest of that shit. The other half of that is, oh, guess what? Your bitch ass gets to go and fucking die in needless wars. That's the other half of it. Oh, along with all sorts of other stuff. But, like, that's patriarchy, dumbass. That's what you're actually mad about.
Have to do with family cohesion, for example?
Well, because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have two votes.
Ava, your mouth seems to have dropped.
But there are two people.
I know.
But there are two people who live in the country.
The stats that you're putting down are perhaps correct in some universe.
Which stats?
They just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean,
allegedly. What do you mean allegedly?
At the time that you're talking
I mean, you could have just made it up.
Women weren't really allowed to write. They weren't allowed to go to school.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. That's incorrect. The first female property. The first female
female
property owner was in the 1600s. The idea that women.
the idea. Okay. What's up, Ramon? Okay. The idea that you're gonna sit here and tell me, hey, whoa. The first woman got to own something all the way in 1600. Let alone, let's ignore the other 1,599 years. Come on, guys. 60. Come on now. Oh my God. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, not only that, but this is like the fanciful idea that like a woman president solves all women's issues or something. This is fucking idiotic. Like, whoa. A woman in 1600 owned something once, probably a slave, most likely. Like, whoa, crazy. Did that change the experiences of women across the nation or the world? No. Oh my God.
Couldn't work and couldn't.
I'm so sorry, but that will be inherited property.
The first female millionaire was in the late 1800s.
And was that inherited?
Late 18. It only took us to the late 1800s for a woman to make like $1 million, which again, it's like make, or was that inherited after her husband died, or because she was like a princess? Like, come the fuck on.
No, it wasn't. It was self-made.
Yes, it was.
Self-made. Yes, it was. She did not inherit
what law
it.
permitted that?
What?
I need a name.
Well, there was no law. I mean, there's always been women that were influential in history.
Let's get on to the
yeah,
votes.
influential isn't the same thing as equal, dipshit. There are queens. Queens have never been equal to kings. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
Hang on a minute.
Okay.
You know, your big push is that you care about men and you don't think that men are getting enough of a say. But
well, I care about
hang
women
on,
too.
I haven't made the point yet. Okay. Because of feminism, okay? What I wonder is when you start making calls out like repeal the 19th, women shouldn't be allowed to vote. How is that helping young men? Because these young men have women in their lives. They have mothers, they have sisters, they have teachers. And they turn around, they don't know how to act around women because you're...
You know, I'm just going to tell all fellas out there, this is some free advice, guys. If you ever, one second. If you ever, fellas out there, all the guys out there, my mans, my dudes, my guys, if you ever vote to repeal women's voting rights in this country, I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to wish for the days that we live in right now. All of your struggles with dating, with women, you know, all them issues, trust me, the pussy ain't going to be easier after they can't vote. I'm going to tell you that right now. You, like repeal that at your own libido's risk. Good God.
Giving them license to be misogynistic.
I wouldn't call it misogynistic. I say be equal. So again, men do all of the
feminists are saying.
Well, then,
wait. How can two people be equal when one
Please apply for the
gets...
oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society. They're open. They're high.
Does she think that no woman has ever applied to an oil rig? Does she really think that's literally never happened? No, people do, and bosses, managers see a woman and go, no, I don't want that on my rig. It's that simple.
Hiring, because I don't equate for, I don't think men and women are equal until we do the equal work. So no, listen, go apply to be on.
Also, why am I equal to a man who works on a rig? I work in a kitchen. We have completely different sets of skills. Like to a rig worker, to a fucking oil rig worker, I work in like a floofy ass kitchen. Like I have an easy job. And like to me, a fucking coder has some like easy bullshit job. Like how am I equal to any of them? What does employment have to do with equality? People do a range of jobs. The goal is to do a job that like you enjoy personally, not
on the oil rigs. Go be a plumber, go be an electrician, go be on the front lines of the military, and then we
There's
should
literally
have
never
rights.
been a,
but until
been a woman plumber.
are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, well, I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be, but I'm absolutely not.
But you
said you were a volleyball.
Wow.
You said you were a volleyball player, and so you've got more strength than I do. I don't think.
But
that
I don't have more strength. I don't have more strength than the average man.
I'm not going to take your right away to
I don't have more strength than the average man. But again, it goes back to go be a plumber.
Yeah, she's definitely a volleyball player. You can. I don't find that shocking since it's very obvious she spent way too much time on the beach with her brain fucking baking in the sun. She'd probably feel right at home in those like fucking migrant canopies.
You want to be equal, go be equal.
You want divorce to be made illegal.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because I don't think what we have today is really marriage. What is marriage? It's for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. That's what marriage is supposed to be. But feminists have ruined marriage for the people that actually believe in marriage.
How?
When there's a 50% divorce rate and the average marriage
why is that all down to the women, though?
I didn't say that it was all down to the women.
So why feminists
you asked why I want divorce to be banned. Yeah. Can I finish that first?
So keep in mind, the reason why he drew that comparison, or he drew that line, is because I do believe a majority of divorces are initiated by the women, which, sorry, give me 1 second, what's what I'm looking for, which is why she has an interest in repealing divorce. If it was like, if divorces were initiated by men more frequently, she wouldn't call for the end of divorce. So keep that in mind. But also, men are, I think also, it also wouldn't really matter. It wouldn't really matter if you banned like no-fault divorces, right? Like we've heard Steven Crowder bitch about no-fault divorces. I wonder why. But like, if two people get married and then, they want to get divorced, they'll just get divorced. They'll just do it. It's like, there is nothing that's going to stop them. And secondly, there is no reason why the government should have an interest in keeping two people together that don't want to be together. Like there's no benefit to society for that. A, but B, in a scenario where no fault divorce is illegal, they're just going to make up a fault. The husband's just going to go bang somebody, take some pictures, and then give it to the wife, who's going to be like, oh, you cheated on me. All right, cool, we're divorced now. And that's like it. Happened before. It'll happen again. It's stupid. It's idiotic. It wouldn't bring about the change that she actually wants.
Oh, I'm saying, you know, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in for better or for worse, for richer or for
Also, who
poor,
cares?
in sickness and in health till death do us part.
But doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin? So you wouldn't be able to get married.
Oh, true.
What do you mean?
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity of marriage, then I just think that you're upholding standards that
This
you don't
girl's not a virgin. Oh my God! What? Bro, Pierce, what the fuck was that face, my guy? Can't say I'm shocked.
That's a fair complaint. I wish I was. But, you know, we can't go back. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, but I just don't think it's fair that you get to be here and you get to be paid for your views. And
Well, yeah, but like, then what do you do then? If you're a woman, you know, if you're, what is this girl? She's like 26. If you're like 26, then and now, what do you do then? Are you just fucked? Should you just go stand at a cliffside and wait for like a Navy man or something to come home? Like what are your options then?
you're telling other women that they shouldn't be allowed to.
I think
hang on. Okay, if I may, at some stage jump in. Isn't the whole point of being a feminist, though, that women are entitled to have their own views?
Absolutely. And
so she's perfectly entitled to her views.
Yeah, but you can't.
You might not like
yeah.
them.
But I'm here to challenge
Isn't she exercising her right as a... Are you a feminist?
No, I am.
Wait, Pierce, you fucking idiot. You're allowed to... Okay. Can we talk about how conservatives can't understand the difference between shutting down somebody's free speech and challenging it? Like, they literally can't fucking understand this. And I don't know how they can't. They do it all the time. They bitch all the time. They talk over people all the time. You're allowed to challenge somebody's speech. Like, the only time it becomes an issue is if the government gets involved in censoring your speech. Other than that, I really don't care. Challenge somebody's speech. Should she have a platform? Fuck no. She's a dipshit. She's an idiot. She's somebody who feeds the exact kind of misogyny that Andrew Tate fans and other little dweeby teenagers who, quite frankly, don't have a lot of experience with women, would like to hear them make themselves feel better about their inability to court women. That's her entire purpose. Do I think she should have a platform? Absolutely not. But like, what's it called? I'm allowed to think that, and everybody's allowed to think that. You should think that. Everybody should look at Pearl here and see a moron. See the state of like vapid political rhetoric, like embodied in this woman. But like, that's fine. I'm allowed to say that. She can say whatever she wants. I'm just gonna make fun of her all the time and say that she's stupid because she is.
I'm not.
Really?
No, don't go that far.
You don't want to be a feminist?
No, because I think if feminists really believed in equality, but you guys don't, I would love for you. There is an oil rig hiring. There is an engineering.
Why don't you go, okay, Pearl, you dipshit. Why are you doing a YouTube channel? Your argument falls apart the second you say this. Because moron, why are you not on? I guess she'd argue. Yeah, okay, wait. I guess she would just argue that, like, well, I don't think we should be equal, which, all right, then what are you even doing with a YouTube show? Get back in the fucking kitchen. Go walk outside, and the first man you see, court him, offer to be like his slave wife or whatever, and go away. Like, I don't know why are you even here? You're a woman. You're not supposed to have political opinions, right? Why are you here? Shoo. But she doesn't believe any of this. It's all an act. It's all a game. And again, the idea that there isn't one woman oil rig worker is comical.
No, seriously. There is a building being built next to my building. Go do it, feminists. Go do it. And me, I'm saying
go do it. All of feminism.
You want to get married to? Are you saying you will be with that man whatever happens the rest of your life?
Yes, for the.
Okay, watch this. Let's see. It's like I've never seen. Oh my god! It's like I've never seen a woman on a construction site before. It's not like they are common. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that construction worker. Amazing. Yeah, like the idea that there aren't women who do construction is fucking asinine. But again, we're dealing with somebody with about 2 brain cells.
Vows that we're supposed to live by.
How do you know you can keep them?
I mean, I think it's a choice. And that's the thing, like, women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children.
Ooh. Okay. Let's think about that. Marriage is not about happiness. So why the fuck would anybody get married? Marriage, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I live in a fantasy world, but I always thought marriage was about being happy. But apparently not.
And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me.
Oh, I also shouldn't have to say that, I shouldn't have to say that not all marriages involve kids. Marriage is not like not marriage until you have kids. It's still marriage. A marriage is a union between 2 people, not a union between 2 people and their kids. That's not how that works.
My feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
Ava, I've got to say, it's a little bit listening to Andrew Tate, where some of it I really don't agree with. I don't agree with the vote stuff. When I hear things like that, I think there'll be a lot of people, especially older generation women perhaps, who think, you know what, she's got a point.
Well, I mean, I believe in agency.
Yes. When back when women, some of the women back when they were like second-class citizens and, they still think, I think things were better back then. I think back when we were second-class citizens, things were better back then. Like, come on. Like, yeah, I'm sure if you ask like some old fart about, how do you feel about your rights? Do you feel like you'd be okay without them? I'm sure you'd get some that'll say, oh, I'm happy just being a housewife. I was fine with it. Some women that's not enough, but for me it is. And at the end of the day, the thing I care about, or the value that I favor in this scenario, is freedom and choice and the ability for people to do the things that makes them happy, that makes their lives fulfilled. The thing that she has decided to throw her hat behind is this arbitrary definition of family that only serves to restrict women. Because again, keep in mind, men in this scenario aren't losing any of their rights. Men aren't driven out of the military. Men aren't, men's situation under her, like, women shouldn't vote or whatever. Men's lives don't get better. They stay the exact fucking same. Their relationships with women are going to get a lot worse and a lot harder, quite frankly. But at the end of the day, their men's lives aren't going to get better by taking the rights away from women. If you actually want to make men's lives better, make them better. Actually propose, policies, propose legislation, propose some kind of change to the status quo to ameliorate men from the patriarchy. That is what you can actually do. But what they want is, at the end of the day, to reinforce a patriarchal system that puts men at the top, but also fucks over men in a whole bunch of ways. And surprisingly, fucks over women in a million different ways. And that's why it's just a woman hating movement. That's all it really boils down to. Nothing gets better for men. Everything gets worse for women. And, that's the only thing that they really care about.
So I think that if a woman is going to look after her children in divorce, that's absolutely fine. I also believe in your right to speak your mind about it. What I don't understand,
I'd like to
what
say,
I don't
even
understand.
before
Also, don't
the
women
1920s,
also
women could speak openly.
Also, like, aren't women the ones who historically always have to take care of the kids and stuff? So, like, when they get divorces, they're the ones who, get stuck raising children, which is a much more difficult task. So, like, women already kind of get the sour end of that deal as it is. So what's the problem? Like,
the idea that, like, women couldn't talk the last 500 years. There have been women throughout
the American
history
state education system has failed before, and it's failing.
Well, you can kind of,
there have been women throughout history that have read, written, and been very influential in...
Wait. How many women did she say? Go back for a second.
I'd like to
What
say,
I don't
even before the
understand-
1920s,
Do you know what I mean?
women could speak openly. This idea that like women couldn't talk the last 500 years, there have been.
Nobody said women couldn't talk. It's that they couldn't vote, meaning that they couldn't participate in democracy. That like they had no electoral voice.
Women
I know,
throughout
but the American
history
state
that have
education
been-
system has
that have
failed
been-
before, and
has
it's
been-
failing
has
now.
been- there have been women throughout history that
There
have
have
read,
been.
written and been very
Guys, there are women who have read and written throughout history. like yeah, like they would teach the women in like southern fucking plantations. They would teach the women how to read and write. That doesn't mean that they were equal citizens. They were still chattel. Like
influential in society.
Okay.
So this idea like women could never do it.
Do you know
don't
what
believe
what
it.
I don't understand though is when it gets
also again, reading and writing was restricted to the rich women and women, not like every woman could read and write. No, it was restricted only for those with the wealth and status. I just
okay, because you put down a few arguments that I think are perfectly, like, you know, they're kind of evangelical and they're Christian, but those are your right to say it. What I don't understand is when it kind of seeps into this sort of, you call women fat, you say that they shouldn't have
Are they
abortions,
fat?
you say that
Are
they
they
have
fat?
STDs. You know,
are women are we asking wait, are we assessing are all women fat? Is that what we're doing? Yeah, thank you, Groove Dragon. Precisely. Like do I need to look up? First of all, if we're gonna criticize women for their looks, then we need to have a talk with fellas. Because I'll be honest here, fellas, we're not trying at all. Do you know how long it takes women to get ready every single fucking day to look even halfway decent? Do you know how much effort gets put into that? And how many dudes I know? Like, how many dudes do you know? Throw on and again, you know, I'm not much better. I'm wearing a fucking graphic tee. Throw on a graphic tee, maybe some shorts, maybe some cargos, some you know, they throw on their Nikes or something, and that's like it. They're like, all right, cool, that's it. And then they go out, they like maybe brush against a woman and try to have a conversation. Meanwhile, this girl's like thought about matching her shoes with her belt, with her like accessories. She has like a good little bit of makeup on. She's probably spent like an hour doing that. Also getting her hair, like fixing her hair in a specific way, trying to look like, you know, in some kind of aesthetically pleasing, consistent way. And then like some dude in a fucking like t-shirt and like, you know, shorts or whatever walks up and is like, oh, hey, you know, like, you know, women just don't, you know, women just don't try anymore. Like, come the fuck on, dude. Like, fellas out there, we don't fucking try. And through the grace of women, luckily, they date some of us, the good ones at least. But like, come on, get the fuck out. Fucking JustPearly things over here, be it all like, women are fat. Bitch, have you looked at guys these days? We're not exactly hitting it out of the park. And again, once again, we don't put nearly as much of an effort in that women are conditioned to in our society every single day. Like, fucking spare me.
The question is, are they fat? Yes or no?
Man, I walk fast past that mirror
sometimes. The
sometimes.
average American woman is 170 pounds. That's objectively overweight.
I mean, let's be honest.
Wait, what? Wait. Wait. Go back.
you know,
I mean, the question is, are they fat? Yes or no? The average American woman is 170 pounds. That's pounds.
Would you like to know the average American man? I don't think you want to know what the average American man's weight is. I don't think that's something you want to interrogate there. Also, speaking like, you know, JustPearly things, she looks rather tall too. I wouldn't go talking too lightly about weight, darling, because like you're pretty tall and not super skinny, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, spare me with this. Women are fat. Also, again, America, no shit. A lot of us are overweight and quite unhealthy.
That's objectively overweight.
I mean, let's be honest. We now celebrate morbid obesity as
Who
some
the
kind
fuck
of body
celebrates
positivity,
it?
and it is complete nonsense.
Wait,
so actually, on that
body
point again,
positivity isn't the same as celebration. It's just okay. Like the idea that you can first of all, the idea that you can be overweight and actually in shape isn't really a new concept. It's just a new concept for people who who have like fucking like ancient perceptions of body standards. At the end of the day, like people pretend that like, oh, skinny is like healthy. No, it's not. And being fat is not always unhealthy. There are multiple people. I'm willing to bet you money. I'm willing to bet money that Pierce Morgan would not be able to like outrun, like in terms of like a, you know, like outpace in like in an endurance competition. Somebody like Lizzo, for example, somebody who is overweight and is not like shy about that fact and embraces it to a degree. I can guarantee you the amount, like, Pierce Morgan couldn't put on 5 minutes of a Lizzo concert that Lizzo has to do. And again, it's just like these archaic ideas continue to like live on through idiots like JustPearly things who just want to, you know, continue to keep these weird standards that they think that they pass. So again, they think to themselves, oh, if I can just keep the standards behind me or lower than me, then, you know, I get to be the preferential person at the end of the day. Like, that's all this real. Again, it's the same dynamic as I mentioned earlier.
There's a bit of truth in
97. Thank you, Grifter.
Have we come
197.9. Yeah.
Well,
it's nonsense.
We're not talking about morbid obesity. I was actually watching your podcast earlier, and you spoke to someone who was, I would say, probably a size 12, and you called her
every fucking
fat,
singer,
obese, and a
every
divorcee.
one
She
of
was
them.
fat, obese, and a divorcee.
I
mean, like, I don't know what to say. This is the thing, women.
You know what? What is it? I'm gonna use somebody I actually know a lot more about. What the fuck are you doing, Google? Thank you. Piper Niven. Irish professional wrestler. I would fucking outrun these fucking losers in a mile race. No questions asked. No fucking questions asked. Because at the end of the day, weight is not always a determining factor in terms of health. There are obviously things that like we attribute to certain weight scales and weight levels and distribution and stuff like that. But like, this woman's a professional wrestler, incredibly athletic, almost certainly is above that 170 weight scale that they use as like, oh, women are fat. Yeah. Well, and this girl is like 8 times the athletic that all of you are combined. Like, fucking spare me. I hate this idea. It's so fucking stupid. It's like, it's just understanding is like, oh, skinny is healthy, fat is unhealthy, which is, no, that's not always the case.
We don't want to live in reality. We don't want to say things that are true. Was she fat? Yes. Was she a divorcee?
You already said.
Yes.
These
things are just objective facts.
Okay, I'm going to have to objectively...
And she insulted me first. They always do.
I'm going to have to objectively end the debate, but it was an interesting...
You know what's funny also is JustPearly things out here being like, that girl is fat and divorced. Bitch, you are single. Like, no, really. Like, you haven't even gotten to the point where you got to be married and then got divorced. This is like somebody who's never dated and then, like, been like, you dated that girl and you guys broke up after a year. What can I, like, the fuck? Like, geez, well done with your never succeeded in love at all. Like, way to go. Real triumph there. But you know the thing that they tell, you know, like at the end of all YouTube videos where they tell you to like click on one of these like things to watch more videos. Yeah, I've been meaning to film one of those. So that's what I was doing. I was just setting it up to